Hello, this is teddygaming. Welcome back to another review on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the TMNT UK Magazine's issue number 4, and oh boy, this one is another really interesting one from my childhood, and I must admit with this one, I do enjoy this one, reading this one from my childhood and stuff like that. It does bring back a lot of happy memories. But this one, I must say, this one actually surprisingly really holds up really well, and really does fit in tone with the whole fast forward stuff which I was going for at the time, and it works so well for some reason. So yeah. Okay, so the story, we do get to see Sterling, and he's talking to Donnie and Cody, and basically Cody and Donnie, they've been inventing a new, like glove type thing, but basically allows them to phase through walls just like the Street Phantoms, and has asked Sterling to basically punch Donatello to see if it phases through him. Now Sterling does this, and it does go through Donatello, and Sterling is a little bit surprised by this, and he actually falls over, and it gets a little bit weird here, just because he's trapped in his room, but then he never gets out of the room until later on in the issue, which I just find like really weird, because he's been in that penthouse for like years at this point, and yet now he can't get out of one room, so I just find that to be really weird, but you know, it is what it is, but I just find it so weird that he like finds himself trapped in a room that he's been in 101 times, gone out before, so I just find it a little bit weird, but I know that like Cody just like look at it from the outside, but it just seems so weird that like, he couldn't open it from the inside, so I just find it so weird, but yeah. And after that, we do get to see Mikey comes into the room and asks them what they've been building, and they tell him basically they've been building the device. So then Mikey comes up with like loads of different ideas on what to use the device for, and one of the ideas is basically using it to do pranks on Raph, and then another idea is to do pranks on Sterling, so he is very creative, I won't lie, but it just seemed, I don't know what to really say of the scene, it just like really fits so in line with like Mikey, 2003 and fast forward, and I don't really think to really say about the scene, but it was there, and we do get to see Cody looking up the room, and Mikey is thinking about doing it later. So in the next scene, we do get to see Mikey goes back later that night and goes and installs the device, and that's when he comes out with a great idea to actually go on and actually do the pranks on Raph, and I must admit here, they were pretty clever, I must say, just because they are like pranks which I would expect Mikey to do with this type of device. One of them, he goes into Raph's room like 1 in the morning and then sets the alarm off, which I must admit, it was pretty funny for the most part. And then the next prank is Raph goes into the kitchen, he goes in and gets a fizzy drink, and it goes all over Raph's face, and yeah, again, it's something which I would expect them to do with this version of Turtles and fast food. It really does fit the whole vibe of things, which I must admit works really well. And then next scene, we do get to see Raph finds Mikey and starts to chase him, but then Mikey goes through Sterling, and that's when things go really wrong, just because it was like starting to phase Mikey out of existence and stuff like that. So Raph goes and gets Donnie and tries to figure out what to do next, and I must admit he was also again pretty interesting and funny, just because we do get to see Raph like really mocking Mikey and really taking things to the next level, but basically he was able to do all the things Mikey couldn't do, so basically it was like eating and also playing video games, and it was interesting and funny for the most part, and again it's something which I would expect them to do for this universe and fast forward and stuff like that, which again it works so well. So then after that, we do get to see Cody and Donnie. They come up with one final idea to basically undo the phasing of Mikey, and they tell him to just run through a portal and hope for the best. And Mikey does do that, and it does work, but I must admit, it does feel a little bit weird that like their only suggestion to actually getting the thing off is just run through a portal and not really do any other like tests or anything like that to maybe like solve it or something like that. It just seems a little bit weird because, you know, like the scientists, and yet all they can come up with is just run through a portal. It's just a little bit weird. But in saying that, it does work and the device does come off Mikey, so I can't complain too much. And then in the final scene, we do get to see Mikey just eating and doing all the stuff which he couldn't do, just like playing video games, and again really working into like the whole element of fast food, and just works so well. And it was pretty interesting for the most part. The one weird thing which I don't know what to really think about it was the fact that in this issue we do get to see Leonardo and Splinter, but they don't talk, and I can't really complain about it, but at the same time it just feels really weird that like they're there but they don't talk, and like in every other issue they've been there and talking, but in this one they're just there and just don't do anything. Like, I'm pretty sure if this was in the cartoon they would like cheer or something like that in like the scenes which they were in, but it just seems weird that they're there but not talking. Why won't they talk? Now for the artwork for this issue, I must admit it's really interesting just because in like certain shots and panels, it really does look like the actual show like art style and stuff like that, but at the same time you can tell that it's not, which I do think works for its advantages. And with this art style, I don't really know what to really say, just because I was looking at this one and it looks so familiar to like the ones which they come before this. And surprisingly, this is not the same artist which has worked on the issues before, but it's a new one which I do think is really cool. And I must admit, overall the art style is really amazing, it's really great. I would like to see them come back and do a little bit more fast forward and stuff like that, but they only done this one issue, and it was pretty great, so I can't complain too much, but yeah, it was really interesting that like, this art style works so well, but yeah, I don't know what to really say about it, it's just so amazing. Now this story overall, I do feel as though with this one more or less like got everything right which it needs to do, and I thought that was perfect. And this one really plays into the full element of being fast forward, 2003, and the comedy side of things, which I do think works really well for them, just because I do think that this story works really well and is structured really well, no pacing problems whatsoever, and it really does feel as though that this story really does fit like the fast forward vibe, and also like the 10-page story, which again I think works really well. And I feel as though that like this is like one of those stories that you can't tell like 20 pages on a 20-minute story, but I do feel as though this one works really well for this kind of like magazine type thing. And I must admit, I'm quite surprised not many other issues so far in this series haven't been more like this, but I am hoping that going forward, like they do like fix their problems and do make it a little bit more like this. I doubt it, but you never know, but I do think that this issue so far has probably been the best. I don't think this one is as memorable as like the first issue or something like that, but I do feel as though that this whole issue really does hold up, and it's probably like one of the best ones they've done so far, and maybe even one of the best ones which they have done, which I don't know if that's good or not, but we'll find out. But yeah, it was amazing. So yeah, I must admit overall I do feel as though this whole issue has been really great, and it has really got me excited to read more of these stories and hoping that they're more like this. I doubt it, but you gotta have faith, right? But yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. If it doesn't, please share, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.